Okay, so I'm going to give you a live example here of the modeling that we want to take as we begin training with the teachers for a literacy camp. We do want to give them an opportunity to really practice the hands-on portions because that's the part that's going to drag them in and really kind of bring them together more with believing in what the literacy camp has to offer. Now, for this one comes from the main idea, as I've explained a little bit earlier. But this main idea activity is an opportunity for us to again bring home the idea to the students to allow them to connect with something that hopefully they have some idea about, which would be a leaf. Now the leaf, what we're going to be doing is creating a rubbing. Now from this leaf though, we want to of course start off by explaining to the students what is that connection that we're making here. The connection would be that you do have this main artery of the leaf here that protrudes out from the stem, and that artery there is going to actually be what feeds off to the rest of the leaf itself. Now it doesn't just feed on its own. Attached to each of these is going to be smaller veins. Now those veins itself then are feeding the leaf, and that's where you get the ideas from, is that this is the main idea, this larger artery, and then you have the smaller veins, which are actually our details. That's what's supporting the whole idea of the leaf itself. So what we're going to be doing is first starting off by showing the students an example of what the leaf rubbing and what our expectation is for this activity itself. Now you can kind of see the leaf rubbing done here, and then what we'll be doing as we get closer to the end is we will be highlighting where we believe the main idea would be and what are the detailed portions that pop off from here. Now this activity leads into another portion of the module as well, which is where we start having students, as they read through a story, they start taking down main ideas and details, and we have a template for them that is in a leaf format that will allow them to mimic the same idea throughout the rest of the module as well, just so they again can reinforce the idea that the main idea is the larger portion, supporting details are what holds it all together. So let's go through and make this rubbing. To do so, we need to have a leaf. Now, you don't need to have a perfect leaf in place. You could easily make a leaf rubbing from any type of leaf. What you want to make sure about when you pick these leaves is, one, that you don't pick them too early. What happens with leaves when you pick them too early is that they end up kind of wilting on you, or they, if they're like this one during the fall time here, they end up starting to crinkle and crack. Okay, so you can't pick them too early. Usually you want to go out that day when you show up to the school, or a lot of times right outside of our hotels we can usually find plenty of leaves hanging off the trees. But you do want something of substance. You don't want anything that's going to be too small for the students to really be able to identify. So you do want something of substance. And again, you kind of want to go through and kind of fill the bags to make sure that they do have portions that will be impressionable during the rubbing itself. Now, first piece that we need to do is we need to make sure that we tear off the stem. So again, I would be modeling this opportunity for everybody just as a way for us to work through this material together. Now when you do your leaf rubbing, you need to make sure that you do your leaf rubbing from the back side of your leaf. So in doing so, we take our leaf and we place the piece of paper right on top. Now ideally you want to have lighter paper, most likely like tracing paper, something like that, but using a regular piece of paper, white printer paper will do as well. And now we simply just start to shade in. Now this is just the leaf rubbing portion itself, so apart from this, this is just again a way to hook the kids into the module that will be working with them through the day. And here I have my leaf rubbing. So of course, as long as your leaves aren't in too bad shape, you can always have students share leaves, but just keep in mind again that sometimes some of the students will be a little rough with it. But there you go, and there's our modeling of the leaf rubbing activity to begin the main idea and supporting details module.